this war cannot be decided on the battlefield. How should we think about the role of diplomacy in this war?
The war will have to end diplomatically because it's inconceivable that Ukraine could destroy the capacity of Russia to wage war. If Russia believes that it's still in its political interest to wage war, they'll wage war. The only way the shooting can stop is for both Russia and Ukraine to decide that some set of terms are in their mutual self-interest. That's going to require diplomacy. It will probably require security guarantees for Ukraine, whether it's NATO or whether it's something else. There's no way to end this war through the use of military instruments alone.
I think it's going to depend on whether Putin is still in power. I don't think Putin will give up, but I do think that this new indication of the Russian population not supporting the war actually, quite as much as Putin has portrayed it as being, does give space for the possibility that if Putin should die, and he will die of natural causes sooner or later, that he's not immortal, that at that point, that might be the place at which the fighting finally stops. If there are Russians who come to the realization that continued fighting is not actually in Russian national interests.
So there actually is diplomacy going on now. It is crucially important that this is a negotiation between Russia and Ukraine. I mean, when I was ambassador in Ukraine, we used to talk about how, you know, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and that is very true in these kinds of negotiations. And so I think, we will come to that point, but it's going to be a while.
We have to provide Ukraine meaningful wins in other ways, security guarantees that ensures that the rest of their territory isn't going to be taken, an ability to get into the European Union, to have a sustainable economic future that they weren't looking at before 2022 or 2014, and to have that within the context of a unified Europe, a unified NATO, a unified transatlantic relationship. None of those things are assured right now, looking ahead at our own elections and looking at the dynamics at play between the U.S. and its allies. But that is the win that we're going to have to frame. We aren't there yet. I hope we can get there.